Hello comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. I am your handsome host, Bill Miller. Welcome to the lucky 13th installment of our Top 500 Pre-Code Horror Comics. Following the post-war crime comics vogue spearheaded by publisher Lev Gleason's Crime Does Not Pay, which by 1948 was selling over 1 million copies a month, came romance comics, which by 1949 outsold all other genres, and then horror comics. The same month in which Adventures into the Unknown premiered, the comic book company EC, which would become the most prominent horror comics publisher of the 1950s, published its first horror story, Zombie Terror, by the then relatively unknown writer and artist Johnny Craig, in the superhero comic Moon Girl No. 5. Almost simultaneously, Transworld Publications issued its one and only comic, the one-shot Mysterious Traveler Comics No. 1, in November of 1948, based on the Mutual Broadcasting Network's radio show of that name, and including amid its crime and science fiction stories, a reprint of the Edgar Allan Poe adaptation The Telltale Heart, reprinted from Charlton Comics' Yellow Jacket Comics No. 6. Street and Smith also published 2 issues of Ghost Breakers in late 1948. Before we get to our comics, let's have a quick reminder of the criteria. The comics had to have been published prior to carrying the Comics Code Authority seal, and the title had to primarily be a horror title. Some of the eligible titles are from other genres, but they switch to a horror context for a period of time. Lastly, these are not necessarily either the most popular or the most expensive horror books. They are simply the best horror comic book covers, in my humble opinion. It was painfully difficult ranking numbers 260 to 241, but it was loads of fun. I made a series of 25 videos with 20 entries in each one, so please join me for the next 20 covers as we count down the top 500 pre-code horror comic book covers. Alright, starting out at number 260, we have Tales from the Crypt, issue number 28, from EC Comics. Published in March of 1952. The cover artist is Al Feldstein. There aren't too many things scarier than being buried alive. If only this gravesite had a bell. Bludgeoning us with number 259 is Adventures into Weird Worlds, issue number 24, from Atlas/Marvel. Produced in December of 1953. We're not positive, but the cover artist is believed to be Carl Burgos. Deep, rich colors, a man torn in half, and a hypodermic needle make this image a hit. Oozing out of number 258 is Astonishing, issue number 33, also from Atlas/Marvel. Out in June of 1954. The cover artist again is Carl Burgos. I'm a big fan of the ghoul depicted on this cover. I also like the light emanating from the evil eye as well as the light touches of purple. Slithering in at number 257 is Journey into Unknown Worlds, 26, from Atlas/Marvel. Hitting the shelves in April of 1954. Cover art chores handled by Harry Anderson. An expertly drawn ghoul peers through a window at 2 potential victims down below. Bleeding out at number 256 is Eerie, issue number 11, from Avon. Hitting the stands in April of 1953. Cover art duties handled by Alvin Hollingsworth. What's not to like about this cover? We have a creepy skeleton in bondage bursting through a bedroom door just prior to getting blasted by a pistol. At number 255 is Beware, issue number 5, from Trojan Magazines, published in September of 1953. Sadly, the cover artist is unknown. What's better than a howling wolf, you ask? A howling werewolf, I answer. Hiding in the shadows at number 254 is Chamber of Chills, number 25, from Harvey, produced in October of 1954. The cover artist is Lee Elias. We have a fire-choked scene featuring a scary robot with bird-like talons. Crawling in at number 253 is Shock Suspense Stories, issue number 15, from EC Comics, out in July of 1954. The cover art is by Jack Kamen. The fear in the woman's eyes is matched in intensity by the cold stare of the psychotic man strangling her. Appearing at number 252 is Spook, issue number 26, from Star Publications, hitting the stands in October of 1953. The cover art is by L.B. Cole. A blonde in red and a fabulous floating head of a ghoulish creature. Spiriting in at number 251 is Marvel Tales, issue number 121, from Atlas/Marvel, hitting the shelves in March of 1954. Again, though we're unsure, we believe the cover artist is Carl Burgos. What a marvelous cover. A man in a graveyard is being pulled underground by a zombie who has a vice grip on the man's legs. Chopping away at number 250 is Uncanny Tales, issue number 7, also from Atlas/Marvel, published in April of 1953. The cover artist is Bill Everett. Another mirror cover revealing a clown's true nature as a frightening skeletal beast. At number 249, we have Beyond, issue number 9, from Ace Magazines, produced in March of 1952. The cover artist is Ken Rice. We have a lovely lady in fishnet stockings at a costume party who mistakes a real vampire for a fellow partygoer. Slashing into number 248 is Out of Shadows, issue number 10, from Pines, hitting the shelves in October of 1953. The cover art is by George Roussos. A horrified man is trapped within the web of a green spider creature who accessorizes with a stylish red cape. Fleeing into number 247 is Dark Mysteries, issue number 10, from Master Comics, hitting the stands in January of 1953. The cover artist is Hy Fleischman. A brutal cover featuring a blonde in a red dress in bondage while her compatriots are burning at the stake. Scaring into number 246 is Strange Suspense Stories, issue number 18, from Charlton, out in May of 1954. Cover art is by Steve Ditko. Wonderful purple highlights a witch hiding in the shadows and an anxious woman who is fearing for her life. Scaring into number 245 is Journey into Fear, issue number 10, from Superior, published in November of 1952. Unfortunately, the cover artist is unknown. An unconscious blonde in a red dress carried by a hunchback who is trailed by his ghoulish buddies. The deep black background accentuates the image. Frightening us with number 244 is Beyond, issue number 29, from Ace Magazines, produced in November of 1954. Yet again, I regret to say that we do not know the cover artist. A gaggle of zombies are roaming through a graveyard as one of their own begins emerging from his resting place. Screaming away at number 243 is Strange Tales, issue number 29, from Atlas/Marvel, hitting the stands in June of 1954. The cover artist is Saul Brodsky. A wonderful pale yellow background featuring a couple of zombies bringing a dinner guest to a witch in the foreground, gently stirring her cauldron. And stabbing away at number 242 is Blue Bolt Weird Tales of Terror, issue number 119, from Star Publications, hitting the shelves in June of 1953. Cover art is by L.B. Cole. A man is strangled by ghouls, goblins, and demons amidst choking flames in a cacophony of swirling color. And finishing out our list for today at number 241 is Weird Terror, issue number 8, from Comic Media, out in November of 1953. The cover art is by Don Heck. Giant monsters look on as two men fight to the bloody death, both armed with axes. And that will do it for numbers 260 through 241 as we count down the top 500 pre-code horror comics. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got to see some books you either haven't seen before or haven't seen in quite some time. Please leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. Do I have some ranked too high or too low? Or there's some that shouldn't have made the list at all? I'd love to hear your feedback, and don't forget to join me for the next installment as we count down numbers 240 through 221.